Hey guys, my name is Precha and welcome to my channel. So this is my first ever YouTube video. Let me just tell you a little bit about myself before I get started on this video. So I am 22 years old and I am a traveling personal trainer. So about 3 months ago I decided to quit my full-time job working as a personal trainer in a commercial gym, and I decided to start working online and just travel around. So many of you guys have many questions about how I may be doing this, and people just have questions in general all the time. People ask me if I'm going to run out of money, or if the income's enough to sustain me, or if I ever miss just having a stable home or anything like that. But in this video I'm just going to answer all those questions. So let me just give you guys first a little bit of a backstory on how I kind of came across this decision to just quit my full-time job. By the way, if you take a look around, I am at Karma Beach in Bali. This is my second time in Bali, and this is my favorite beach in Bali. It is so beautiful, as you can see. Beautiful rocks, beautiful ocean, beautiful sand. It's a gorgeous beach. The water's clear, super blue. Let's rewind 2 years ago. So about 2 years ago, I was in a bit of a toxic relationship, and during that time, during that breakup was when I decided that I wanted to get into fitness, and I just wanted to use the gym mainly, honestly, as an escape and a way to release how I'm feeling, and obviously I really wanted to lose weight as well. And so I started going to the gym and I started working really, really hard. I actually became obsessed with it. It became an addiction for me. I was going to the gym 7 days a week. I was there for 6 hours a day some days, and there were even days when I would wake up, I would go to a yoga class, and then I would go work out, and then I would go for a swim. Like, there would be days when literally maybe 3 hours out of my day were spent eating or doing other things, but I was mainly just doing exercise. Honestly, I was addicted. A lot of people say that, oh, it's a healthy addiction, or it's a good thing to be addicted to, but honestly, like, everything is good within proportions. I was definitely overdoing it. But during that time, I started to become close with a lot of the trainers in the gym, and they would just always say to me, like, hey, like, you were so into fitness, you should become a trainer, or you should work in a gym, or this seems like the kind of place that you belong in. So after about a year, so during that full year, by the way, that full year, I still stayed consistent and I worked out 7 days a week. Even though I was crazy, I was very, very determined and very dedicated, and I had my own split, my own schedule and everything. On Monday, this was my split, by the way, if you guys want to know. On Monday, Wednesday, and Friday were my leg days, and then Tuesday was chest and triceps. Thursday was back and biceps. Saturday was shoulder day, and then Sunday was core and conditioning. But honestly, by Sunday, usually I was pretty tired, and I would do core and conditioning, but I honestly didn't work that hard on Sundays, which is kind of good, because I did need a day to kind of rest. But as you can see from that program, I was definitely lacking in core. Anyways, I regress. What was I saying? Okay, so the trainers were basically telling me that fitness was something that I should be getting into and I should be working in. So I decided to do this school called InfoFit. It's a personal training school. Basically, it was like 6 weekends. Yeah, 6 weekends or something like that. And basically, they taught me the fundamentals of personal training and sports science and kind of physiology, just the basics and how to get started as a personal trainer. And then I did my ACE exam, the American Council on Exercise. I passed that exam, and luckily for me, I started doing an internship at Steve Nash, the gym that I worked at, straight away. So I started working in that gym, and actually became successful really quickly. So within the first 3 months of working there, I had a pretty steady client base. I was making a lot more money than I was used to. Like, I came from a background, by the way, so when I was working out in the gym, I still had a job. I would work out all day long, and then I would go work at a VIP movie theater, actually. It's the Cineplex VIP Cinemas, and I was a server and bartender there. And so going from that, working as a server and bartender, to seeing the amount that I had never seen the paychecks that I were getting were more than I was used to even seeing in the bank account all at once. So for me, that was huge, and I was changing lives. I was helping people lose weight, and I was helping people achieve things that they never thought that they could. And it's amazing. It was amazing to be able to just help clients reach the potential that they never thought they could, and help them feel the same way that I felt when I lost the weight as well. I don't think I ever actually said, during that time when I was working out 6 days a week, in that one span, that 1 year, I lost 40 pounds in 11 months. So I'll insert the before and after pictures here. So at the 3-month point, I'd already built up enough clients to have like a steady client base. But and from that month forward, I just kept on building up. Basically, the more clients I had, the more I wanted. The more sales I made, the more I wanted to sell. So kind of the way it works at Steve Nash is that personal trainers, you're not only a personal trainer, you're not only helping people with fitness goals, but a big part of being a personal trainer in the company is selling. You sell is bringing in new clients and also selling supplements. And each month there is a list that would say how much you sold that month, and not only within your club but within the whole company. So it started to become kind of a competition, and I am a very competitive person, so it got to the point where I was always checking the PPR, which is where I was on a personal performance review, and seeing if I was at the top of the company or at the top of my club and how well I was doing. And I was really working hard to hit 10,000 every month and sell 10,000 every month, but it really got to the point where all I was thinking about was just selling more and more and more. Every night before bed, I would check the PPR and make sure I had a good standing. I was doing really well. I was hitting 10K every month. There's a steady time when my 3-month average, which is almost the average of your 3 months of sales, was about like 13,000. So I was doing really well. I was really successful, and I was also working as an MOD, which is manager on duty. So I was basically in charge on the weekends, and I was working towards being promoted to becoming an assistant fitness manager. And all this was so real. And at the time, my friend that I was living with at the time, we made a plan to go to Hawaii. And my dream, since I've been a tiny little child, has always been to travel and explore the world. And one place that, I don't know, I guess because I was working so hard, I was working six days a week for a while. During the month of September, I worked 7 days a week, but most of the time I was working 6 days a week. I really fucking needed a vacation. Like, I needed it so badly. So the one place that just really stood out to me, and a place that I really wanted to go, was Hawaii, just because I really wanted to go somewhere tropical, and I love beaches and sun, and obviously something that's kind of almost the extreme opposite of Vancouver, because we don't have beautiful beaches and sun. And I decided to book a trip with my friend at the time to Hawaii. So it turns out that things didn't work out with this friend, and she didn't end up coming with me to Hawaii. But I've always wanted to travel, and I needed this vacation. I was working so hard, I decided I was just going to go to Hawaii by myself. So I went to Hawaii by myself, and it was amazing. It definitely taught me a lot. There are a lot of moments where I would just cry alone in a hotel room, like, what am I doing here? Like, why am I here? I remember the first moment when I first arrived to the hotel room. Well, actually, when I first arrived in the airport, I was fine. Like, I took the taxi and all that, but the moment I walked into the hotel room and I just sat there and looked out the window, I was like, what the fuck am I doing? I am in Hawaii by myself. I was in Waikiki, and like, I didn't know what to do. So I called my friend, and I was like, she was a little more of a well-seasoned, not super well-seasoned, but she traveled more than me. And I just called her to say, like, oh my god, like, what am I doing? And she's like, don't worry, like, you're in Hawaii, you can relax, like, you need to spend some time away from your job, like, go book a tour, do something for yourself, like, enjoy yourself. So I remember the first meal I had, I went to a Taco Bell, and I walked out the street, and I saw, like, some hookers on the way there, and some people catcalled me. But at the end of the day, I was in Waikiki in Hawaii, and like, even though it is a little bit sketchy sometimes, it's a pretty relatively safe place. So I was fine in that whole trip. Yeah, there were moments when I just cried and felt lonely, because I hadn't discovered hostels at that point. I was too scared at that point to stay in hostels, and I always thought it was I always thought it'd be weird staying in a hostel, like in a room full of strangers, like people you don't even know, like what if they kill you in your sleep, like you never know, right? Yeah, I was just staying in expensive ass hotels, and I was actually supposed to visit this different island called Kauai, and I had a flight booked and I had accommodation booked and everything, and I didn't go because of fear. Like, fear is the #1 thing that will stop you so many times when you travel from doing the things that you love. Oh my god. Hawaii. We're in Hawaii. There are moments when I feel lonely and afraid, but at the end of the day, when I was there were so many moments when I was just like, what if I just hopped on a plane right now and just continued traveling and went somewhere else? There was a pull inside of me. There was just this feeling in my gut like I should just go and travel. And once I went back to work, yeah, the trip was great. I enjoyed it. I went back to work. I just wasn't the same. Like, I didn't have that drive to just like sell and like reach the top of the PPR and do your best as a trainer and be really, really good so you can become the assistant fitness manager. And I just realized this wasn't for me. It wasn't making me happy. Like, working all day long, like some people, they're workaholics and they love working and that just makes them happy. But for me, like working all day long every single day doesn't bring me happiness. Like, my dream since I was a kid was to travel the world, and just having a taste of traveling alone and realizing how stupid it was of me to be so afraid of something so amazing. So yeah, I had so many thoughts in my head, and at first I was like, I want to move to Hawaii and be a trainer in Hawaii, or I don't know, I had so many ideas. And actually, a couple of years ago, when I was with my ex, I actually had bought the working holiday visa to go to Australia, but I never ended up going, just because, honestly, mainly because of fear. I was, like I said earlier, I was in an unhealthy, toxic relationship, and there were just so many things, honestly, mentally holding me back. But after kind of thinking a lot to myself, consulting with a few friends, I decided that I wanted to get the working holiday visa for Australia again and just do it. And I've always been a pretty spontaneous person, and I'm a true believer that you always have to follow your gut. Like, whatever your gut tells you is what's meant to be. I've been getting really spiritual recently and just realizing that you have something inside, like your intuition is so fucking beautiful and so powerful. Like, if it pulls you towards a certain decision, or if you just feel like I need to do this, or I don't want to be here anymore, or I really want to be there, just fucking do it. Because your gut is always going to bring you to your best experience. It's always going to put you in the situation that you're meant to be in. So my biggest recommendation is always follow your gut. But yeah, so I bought the working holiday visa. I hadn't told my manager quite yet about it, but I was making a plan to leave. I was making good money at the job, so like I had money for the ticket, like I had money to go, but I needed to make a plan to consistently make money to support my travels. And luckily the flights that I bought to Australia were super cheap, and I got to go back to Hawaii again. So my flight from YVR to Honolulu, so from Vancouver to Hawaii, was $242 or something like that. And then my flight from Honolulu to Sydney, so from Hawaii to Australia, was like about $250. So literally, guys, like if you just learn how to hunt for flights and just be smart about it, you can find cheap ass flights. And I'll do a video on you guys on how to find cheap flights as well. And there are many on the internet too, but I'll just give you my little 2 cents. But yeah, it was cheap, and so I was brainstorming ideas, and then it kind of came to me that, I don't even know how the idea came to me, I don't really remember, but I realized that I could just train my clients online, and that social media is such a big, powerful tool, and it's amazing. Like, I always say this, that like social media and the internet is so powerful yet so dangerous at the same time. Like, honestly, in our day and age, like the internet scares me. Like, if you go on the train and you see everyone on their phone, like it's fucking scary, but it's also amazing how people can make a living online, and people can connect with each other online in ways that they never would be before, and people can help each other, and their communities built online. Like, the internet is, like I said, it's got its pros and cons, but I realized that I could use that to my advantage and start to train clients online, and also as I start traveling, recently I've had the idea that I'm starting my own blog as well. So I'm gonna also be writing blog posts. I will be taking those below my videos, or I'll be taking my blog below my videos, and I'll be taking them to my Instagram as well, because I need to link everything together like a whole clean package, so you guys can see different sides of me, or not different sides of me, but you kind of have the Instagram bit, the YouTube bit, and also the blog, because I also love writing, and that's something that I've always been passionate about. When I was in high school, I took writing class, and I did really well in English, so it's also one thing that I hope I will thrive in. But yeah, so that's kind of my story on how I came up with the idea to become a digital nomad working as a personal trainer. Before I left, I signed on 2 clients. 2 weeks after leaving, I signed on another client, and I was already quite well on my way. But the biggest problem is that since I've been traveling, and anyone out there who travels knows that you're always distracted by beaches and activities, and you never want to just sit and write and do work. So biggest thing for me, and even now, is that I'm forcing myself to find different ways of generating income, finding different ways of bringing more of an audience. Yeah, I'm just bringing you guys something of value. So let me know if there's anything in particular or any kind of videos you guys want to see, any kind of questions you guys have about my travels or fitness, or traveling and fitness, how to stay fit while traveling, like any kind of video suggestions or any kind of topics you guys want me to talk about, let me know, and I will definitely take into consideration and make a video for you guys. Be sure to like and subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and follow me on Instagram. Check out my blog. Hopefully it's going to be linked down there. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. This is my first time since I was in high school. Actually, I used to do makeup tutorials on YouTube in high school, and it was, yeah, that didn't work out that well. But this is my first time since then just sitting down in front of a camera and talking. But it actually feels kind of nice, and it's really serene with these beautiful waves in the background. I'm fucking in Bali. I just arrived last night, but talk to you guys later. Bye.